Morning, guys. It's Waffe for Waffe Gaming, and today we'll be talking about. I don't know if any of you seen the stream that the Fun Pimps did in the last couple of days. As I'm recording this, is July 2nd, so keep the date in mind for this video. But the Fun Pimps, they did a stream talking about some things that they're playing for Alpha 18. And honestly, I was not very impressed at all with it. And the things that they have high hopes for. You can find the interview. I don't know if they have. I tried finding it just directly, like on their YouTube channel, and I couldn't find it right away. So the fastest way I found was just right on their Facebook page. So I'll leave a link in the description of this video once I get it up. And I just kind of go through my notes. I kind of just took notes like as I went along, so all the notes I have will be like in order. So if you do watch the video, you'll be able to find like what I'm talking about or referring to. At the beginning, the three of them were talking about like some of the things that they're most excited about, and sadly, again, my opinion, they're most excited about the over 250 books and schematics that's going to be in the game for Alpha 18. I don't know why in the world you would be so excited about over 250 books and schematics, considering we did have books and schematics, and I believe we still do. They're just super hard to find. And they make the point of saying that they're fun to collect. Honestly, no, they're not. It's more of a chore. And with the way that they lack adding new content, it's almost like this is just a cheap way of trying to keep everybody playing for some odd reason, because it turns a game into a book and schematic scavenger hunt instead of like a survival game simulator. So, one thing that they did say a little bit later on in the interview is that books and schematics is going to be a way to get new skills before unlocking the perk, which is like, okay, that at least makes them kind of useful. But over 250, it's like, I was like, okay, we'll work with what we have. So, they talked about the new stats system, and I was so confused when I was listening to them talk about the stat system. Apparently stats are going to be random, so it's very possible that you can find a weapon that's supposed to be higher quality, in quotes, and have lower stats than a lower quality item. Now, I don't understand what the point of having a quality tier system if it's possible for a higher quality weapon to have lower stats, or to have lower stats than a higher quality weapon. It defeats the purpose. Unless whenever you find the weapon, like it's worn down already. It's like, that's one thing, but in the interview he didn't really give any indication that that would be the case. So I'm not quite 100% sure what he meant by that. But again, it doesn't make sense to have a tier, like a quality tier system with random stats. I mean, if I pick up a weapon, I want to have higher stats than the level below it. Um, Another thing, this is not the first time that they've mentioned it, but they have mentioned about exploring another game, and I believe in before they actually talked about developing like a 7 Days to Die 2 or something like that. And it's kind of like, you guys didn't finish your first game yet. Please finish your first one before you move on. Later on in the interview after that, they talked about how they've really been working on optimization. Good on you for that. I have a higher end computer now, but I remember the days when I didn't have a high end computer, and running the game on good graphics level quality was kind of a chore. And a lot of times I had to lower the quality for me to even be able to play properly without any frame rate drops or having problems like distance features like rendering and stuff like that. So good on them for that. I mean, optimization is always a good thing, and I understand why they're doing it. They're really trying to make the game a little bit more accessible for people with lower end computers, and that is definitely a good thing. That's definitely looking out for the gamer. They talk about a new animal we're supposed to be getting. We're supposed to be getting a mountain lion. Again, I don't know why. Over the weekend, this past weekend, and you had to remember the date of this video is July 2nd, 2019. There was a bit of a reveal that apparently we're supposed to be getting a not exactly sure what it's supposed to be, but it's supposed to be, I guess, like a coyote or something like that as a new animal. And it's sparked a lot of conversation in the comments section. I participated in comments for a good while, because I don't see the point of adding another animal that's only going to attack you. We already have we got dogs, zombie dogs, we had wolves, we got bears, zombie bears, vultures, snakes. I mean, there's already plenty trying to kill us, but yet the only useful animals we have are ones that can be hunted, and those are very hard to find. So instead of adding, say, cows, goats, horses for as like another alternative transportation, we get a mountain lion. Thank you. We really needed that. This is just another fine example of the Fun Pimps adding stuff that is not needed right now. I don't know why they feel the need to keep adding stuff that is not needed right now, but they do for some odd reason. Sadly, animal taming, as they specifically state in this interview, is not going to be added in this next alpha. So again, gameplay features that we've been waiting for being postponed. They also said not going to be getting bandits this one. So again, NPCs being postponed yet again. I'm starting to wonder if it was actually a good idea for them to even mention that they were going to be adding NPCs so early on, because now that they mention, it's like, yeah, we want to add NPC bandits and survivors because the models are already in there. Now we're anticipating and impatiently waiting for them to get added. So, but in all honesty, I'm not even quite sure what the point of making the models for these NPC bandits and other survivors was for, if you're not going to like be putting it in anytime soon. It's almost like a waste of time now if you're going to wait so long. And I guess like optimization stuff takes time and whatnot. But I mean, really, it's like we're getting a mountain lion as our new content to be added. It's very disappointing because we don't need that. NPCs, we do. Because there's a large portion of the. Crap. I actually went up for absolutely no reason. Oops. Just a large portion of the community, the game 7 Days to Die community plays single player for the very fact that it's like multiplayer is kind of toxic at times, and survival games, unless you're playing with friends, can be extremely difficult trying to keep an eye on your base and still have a life outside of here, like outside of the game. Me, I don't have time to be checking on my base every single day or even being on to maintain my base. So a lot of times I do play like single player. And I talk to a lot of people that they play single player with their friends for the very same reason. But the thing is, when you play single player without any NPCs, the game becomes extremely competitive. Or not competitive, repetitive. So, it's almost like the Fun Pimps are trying to turn this game into a Rust with clone, or kind of like a Rust with zombies, I should say. Not really a Rust clone, but it's just not working out that well. And I think there's just a lot more that could happen if you were to add NPCs. Conan Exiles really opened my eyes to what a game could be like with just NPCs. And like in a single player mode. And honestly, it's an awful lot of fun just having like NPCs as like you can go capture them, give them tasks to do in your base and whatnot, or some of them you can take on raids of these NPC villages. That's fun, in my opinion. If I'm not going to be playing against people, and it's like having NPCs as like other enemies or other potential assets is a nice thing to have. So, and let's see here. Vehicles will be added for trading at traders, so that's kind of good because trying to get vehicles in this game is kind of a pain in the butt. Especially with how big the world is, vehicles are kind of necessity. Alright, hit bedrock now. So, my thoughts on what should be added here in the near future for the game is definitely more animals, particularly like horses they can find, tame, and basically utilize as like non-vehicular transportation. And you can set it up as like they need fed. I mean, that's how it is in Ark. It's like you have all your dinos and you have to make sure that they're fed. So I get that. Cows, domesticated pigs. I mean, yes, we have like wild boars and stuff in this, but having domesticated pigs would be nice. Chickens would be nice for like eggs, chicken meat. Some people suggested goats. Sheep would be nice. I mean, with sheep, you could actually add wool to the game for making, specifically for making clothes that's warmer compared to just your regular cloth, which again would be nice just for A little bit more variety. I don't see the harm in doing that. Oops. I heard that. NPCs should be like pretty high on the priorities list, but sadly it's not. I'm hot. Where is it? I guess I'll just go wander around and see if I can find them. There you are. Traps, snares should be added for hunting. And I forget like which mod it is, but there's a mod out there that's like you can craft a trap and snare, and it doesn't like capture the animal itself. But so you can go back like a day later, and you'll just have like a bunch of like meat, hide, and whatever else there, as if it did catch something. That's really all you got to do. You don't actually it doesn't have to actually like catch the animal if you're worried about it taking up like more memory or space or whatever you're quote unquote worried about. You can do it that way. And they also did that with a chicken coop. You just build a chicken coop, go back a day later, you got some chicken meat, you got some feathers, you got eggs. So I was like, I don't see how that would be very difficult or strenuous on the hardware. So that is another thing I think should be really high on the priorities list. One thing I have heard people mention that they're waiting on being added to the game is a lockpick set. I guess to some degree it's like it makes sense, but at the same time I don't know if it should be really that high priority, considering most of the time if something's locked we just break it open right now, and I haven't heard too many complaints about that. So, but those are my thoughts on like what should be added. It sounds like I really hit on the Fun Pimps really hard. I mean to, yet I don't mean to. Mostly because I do still really enjoy the game. But at the same time, sometimes you just gotta give somebody a hard knock and say, hey, you're not doing this right. It's like, you need to pay a little more attention to what's going on, and you need to prioritize and execute the right things rather than, oh, this is what I'm going to do, even though it's not really necessary. No matter whether the AI is hard to program for NPCs or not, it needs done. Whether adding proper new animals like the cows and figuring out like how to make a taming system, or overcoming hardware challenges that it poses. If it does, you really need to find a solution and get it done. Again, not trying to be too hard here, but sometimes, as I said, you just need a little push in the right direction. So if you have anything else to add to the conversation, just leave it down in the comments. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Out.